couple of days ago, I wrote a piece on the ordeal of becoming someone. And in that piece, I used the term ordeal very intentionally because when we are struggling to be someone, it must be a painful process. And why is it painful? It's painful because there is always an underlying belief that there's something just not right about who we are. And because we believe at the very depths of our being that there's something not right with who we are, we struggle to become someone. And who do we struggle to become? We struggle to become that person that overcomes the person we believe we are. We struggle to become the person that will overcome or compensate for the flawed, inadequate person that we believe we are. It's a constant struggle of seeking and self-rejection. I can't put it more directly or succinctly than that. And so when we seek to be someone, it's a completely and totally synthetic psychological process. The person we seek to be doesn't exist. And the person we seek to be will never exist. What if we knew that from the very get-go? This enlightened being that you are struggling to become through endless meditation or endless reading of books or endless watching of videos like this one, that whole psychological entity is false. It is a child. And it is a child whose parent is the belief in our own inadequacy. So here I am, I believe I'm inadequate, and therefore I have to become someone else. I have no choice. The feeling and belief is so unpleasant, is so painful, that I must become someone else, and I am willing to do anything on this planet Earth to become someone else. Whatever it takes. Because as I am, I can't accept myself. So, I mean, could you imagine, if a tree could think the way humans can think, and thank God I assume they can't, if a tree could say, oh, I'm just not the oak tree I need to be, I got to be more like a pine tree. And so there the oak tree spends all of its time, all of its precious life, trying to be something it can never be. It won't be a pine tree. It's going to stay an oak tree. And so the whole essence of self-realization is to allow this whole psychological process of the personal me that is self-rejecting and self-projecting a better me to collapse. End of story. And what we realize, and we often realize this after we experience this awakening, what we realize is that all these labels that we not only have applied to ourselves, but have applied to the world, they are false. So even the simplest activity, like let's just take washing the dishes. It's a common activity used in the literature of Zen, lots of reasons. But first of all, we consider it work. And as soon as you use the word work, it's a chore, it's I am working. So, I'm thinking it better be a payoff, and I'd rather be doing something else because this is work, and, I don't really choose to work. I choose because I work because I have to. And so once we have awakening, it's no longer work. It's just another happening. And as soon as it's not work, it becomes, and that is what awakening is all about. It all becomes play. Even if you get really bad news, like bad medical news. The whole deep attachment of the suffering, woeful me is to a very large extent dissolved. And that's the whole purpose of these teachings. And that's the whole purpose of the whole liberation from the lie, the book and the videos and the blog that I do, is to dissolve this identification with this deficient me that gives birth to the seeking me. It is a parent-child relationship. And it's a relationship whose initial premise is false, because you're not deficient. you're not inadequate, and you're not insufficient. Instead, you're none of those things. You're not the reverse either, or their opposite. You are what you are. And that entity, that beingness that we are, is mysterious. I don't want to say anything more about that because I can't say anything more about that. So when we realize and we give up on that extremely weighty process of trying to find out who we are because there are no answers, it's an incredible relief. It's like you've been carrying this heavy baggage all your lives. It's attached to your legs, your arms, your shoulders, and suddenly that baggage is gone. It's gone, finished, kaput, through, done. And this whole psychological construct of the seeking me is finished. That's what this is all about. It is disidentification with this inadequate, projected self that is false. And by the way, a lot of people who go around the world blissfully and smiling, and they're just acting roles. The inadequacy belief is so painful that they can't be real. They become the false identity of the smiling mask, the mask of everything is great, everything's wonderful. Because, even though if we accept it, when in realization everything's accepted exactly as it is, it's an extremely realistic appraisal of the happenings of the universe. But things are painful. Illness happens, death in families, death of friends, all kinds of things happen. The Gulf War, the war in Afghanistan, there's great tribulation in life. And we don't, mindlessly smile at them. We respond in some fashion. But it's real. And that's what authenticity is all about. It's real. And if it's sadness, if it's anger, if it's outrage, it's all real. It's all a realistic, concrete, clear understanding of what is happening in the world. And that's what wisdom is. And you allow that wisdom to flower inside you, particularly inside your heart, when the mind, the brain, gives up trying to figure out something it can't figure out. The brain can't figure out anything. I've said that in an earlier video. The brain doesn't know what the hell anything is. The best the brain can do is to label things. And it can label things very precisely. That's what scientists do. And that's also what artists do. They label things in creative and scientific and precise ways. But that's not the same as the thing itself. We just won't know and can't know. So release the mind from the search. Release the mind from the exploration. Be who you are. You are the only you that has ever existed in the history of the universe. And when your body leaves this world, it will never come back. This is you. This is the only you. Be it. Express it. And by the way, if that expression is quiet and soft, as it is for most of us, incidentally, at least I believe it is, so be it. It doesn't have to be a loud persona. It's whatever is authentic in that moment. And that's my message. Authenticity, truth, reality, wisdom, alertness, awareness. It's all part of a single, complete package. And it's your package. Thank you for watching.